Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I'm your host, Antonio. Well, it's finally happened. Twitter is no more. And it's sad because I watched that social media platform grow and grow and grow. That is, up until it was sold and bought out by Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. And, I knew that it was bound to happen sooner or later because I remember hearing about this, that when Elon Musk, as soon as he bought this, he was going to change everything and whatnot. And I remember hearing that I logged in onto my computer when I used Twitter on my laptop. It still said X instead of Twitter now. So when I was using the app, the page Twitter, X on my laptop, it was now known as X. They just basically deleted everything or erased everything that had like the little Bluebird logo or anything that has to do with Twitter. And I remember on my phone prior, it still had the Twitter name and it had the little Bluebird logo, and anything that has to do with the little Bluebird on my phone, I was I was reluctant to update it, and I just kept it. And I remember it kept saying on my notice that update from Twitter to become X, which I didn't. Then on Sunday when I woke up, I remember seeing, I even talked about this on my TikTok, that automatically it updated by itself. I didn't do it by myself, because usually when I update certain apps, they do it by them. They ask me, but in this time it was just Twitter did it by itself. Excuse me, X. What can I say about the name change? To a lot of people, it's still they won't accept the name change. Well, I kind of do understand that. This may sound kind of a bad comparison in terms of how am I going to compare it to the name change. I compare the name change of Twitter to X very similar to what happened a few years ago to a very famous wrestling company. Before up until 2002, the company was known as World Wrestling Federation, or the WWF, because that's how I grew up calling it, because that was the name of it. But because of the initials, it had something to do with the World Wildlife Fund for Nature, and it was just like this animal thing that's in Europe. I don't know where it's based in. Either it's in Switzerland or England. I don't know. And when the wrestling company used to be known as Worldwide Wrestling Federation, WWWF, and then they changed it to, they took off one W, it just became the World Wrestling Federation in August of 1975. And I remember watching this, reading this article on this magazine. It says this decision would haunt back the company in a major way 20 plus years later. And it did, because when Vince McMahon did an interview with Bob Costas, and they were talking about the name change and all that whatnot, and they say that those people were going after him because of the initials and because of the Bob Costas mentioned something about the style of print, and then it was just it was just a big back and forth. But Vince McMahon said that in 1994, while he was on trial with because of the he was going to court because of the steroid trial. At the same time, those people came at him, and then even Vince McMahon said they made a very bad deal because of the initials and name and whatnot. But it became more heated during the rise of the internet, and because when they used WWF.com, those people took the wrestling company to court. And then even Vince McMahon said that what really like set off these people to send these people back to court is because of when they some government official went to somewhere in Europe to meet with the WWF, and the government official said, "Oh, where are the wrestlers?" And that's when they say that they're going to take them back to court. And in 2001, it became really, really heated, and because of the initials WWF.com. And then lo and behold, May 6th. The World Wrestling Federation, or WWF, changed their name to World Wrestling Entertainment, or WWE, up until this day. That was in May 6th of 2002, and here we are, July 31st, 2023. And I'm not gonna lie to you, some people like me personally, it took me a while to call it WWE, but every now and then it'll slip, and I'll call it the WWF, or World Wrestling Federation, because that's how I grew up with. So back to what I was saying, in terms of the Twitter name to X, a lot of people will take a long time to get used to. And some people still call it Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I will never call it X. I mean, what's the deal with Elon Musk and his obsession with the letter X? And I read, there's an article here on Business Insider. It says Twitter users are joking that they're embarrassed by Elon Musk's new X logo, saying it looks like it belongs on a porn site. And I just found out something about that. It says here that Twitter users are not so pleased about Twitter's new logo, quote, X, unquote, because it looks like a porn website. One former Twitter employee joked about how embarrassing it would look on his LinkedIn profile. Elon Musk is making good on his promise to rebrand Twitter on an, quote, everything app, unquote. Okay. It says here that Twitter's billionaire owner Elon Musk finally made good on his promise to change up the app's logo to an X, but users have already mocked the new logo, suggesting it will look more at home on a porn website more than a social media platform. I don't know, like, I have noticed that SpaceX Corp, and there's something I just found out recently. When Elon Musk, him and another group of people created PayPal, it says that in 1999, Elon Musk wanted to change the website name from www.paypal.com to x.com, and because of that got his ass fired. I mean, I kind of understand why it has like this connection. The X has this connection with porn, because a lot of porn movies are 1X, 2X, 3X, and I don't know what is it with Elon Musk and his obsession with that letter. And it says here also that Musk began his rebranding on the app on Monday when the platform's iconic blue bird was replaced by a large X sign. He also said that tweets will now be referred as X's. That's another thing that's going to take a long time for users to get used to. Because I remember when Twitter started, as I said it before, instead of the hearts, I think it was for liking tweets, it used to have a star. I do remember that very, very well. Excuse me. And then they replaced it with the heart. And I don't know how people will react to that. It says here also that comedy writer Jesse McLaren dissed the new logo in a tweet, posting an image of various websites with the X logo and wrote, quote, "These are all porn except one. That one's Twitter," unquote. The post has received 3.9 million views so far, with comments largely shaming McLaren's sentiments. Sharing McLaren's sentiments. I remember someone on Twitter posting that they're comparing the X. They're making a connection between the X logo and Pornhub. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And speaking of that, many adult sites contain the letter X in their names and logos, referencing the historical X-rated tag for adult movies. And see, that's what I was saying, you know? And it says here that Musk posted an image of Twitter's San Francisco headquarters projecting the letter X, and one user responded, quote, "Oh dear, I didn't know that about your rebrand idea and was looking for Twitter verified and scrolled past your X logo, thinking it was a porn website. The bird is good and is loved and recognized worldwide. You can't just buy that level of approbation." I'm sorry. In regards to that comment, I would say yes, this person who wrote about this has a lot of points. Because when people said Twitter, they automatically thought of the Bluebird logo. So for Elon Musk just to erase the history, I don't know. I just think about this. My dad said this. It's just showing this dude's arrogance, you know? And it says here, a former Twitter employee, Parker Lyon, joked about how embarrassing the logo will look on his LinkedIn profile. Quote, "Get this shit off my LinkedIn." I mean, yeah. Say if I would create a profile on LinkedIn and they would see where were you employed prior, and instead of Twitter is going to say X, that's going to be an embarrassment for people to see. Oh, you work at a porn website. That's what they automatically think about, the people who are hiring you. And it says here, users have even drawn comparisons with the logo of Adult Streaming X videos, which has been trending on Twitter since Sunday. That is fucking hilarious. Oh, good Lord. It's... I don't know what to say, but all I can say is this again. Okay, here's another thing. Musk has an affinity for the letter X and has previously shared his vision to create, quote, an everything app where users can tweet, shop, and use banking services amongst other features. I mean, with the way this guy thinks, I mean, anything is possible, you know. Musk was also a co-founder of banking services site known as PayPal, but he originally called it X. He was outvoted by other PayPal executives on the name because of its, quote, pornographic associations I mentioned earlier. This guy wanted to name it, erase www.paypal.com to X, and that got his ass fired. You know? And it says, but it also says this, but Twitter's rebrand isn't exactly going to plan. Police halted workers in the middle of removing the Twitter sign from its San Francisco headquarters, leaving behind the letters ER at present. And you know, I did read about that on Yahoo, that apparently workers were removing the Twitter name on the side of the building, but I guess Elon Musk didn't get the permission to use the cranes and whatnot, and they put a stop to that. I do remember reading about that. And here's another thing. Meanwhile, the company's competitor Meta, which recently launched a rival text-based app called Threads, appears to have already trademarked the X logo, creating even more problems for Musk. And that is something that I read about. Apparently, Microsoft also owns the trademark of X. So that's going to create a lot of problems for Elon Musk. I guess, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is time will tell about this. What's going to happen with Twitter, you know, or excuse me, X. I don't know why I have a tendency to use that. And it also says here that, give me a second. Here's from FinanceYahoo.com. And this is something that your typical Elon Musk sycophants, cronies are doing that. It doesn't surprise their fucking attitude. It says, passionate Elon Musk employees are coating the Twitter offices in black paint and boasting about, quote, hunting and eradicating remnants of the Twitter bird. Fucking assholes. As the old proverb goes, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. At Twitter, they've killed all three and erected a giant X statue instead. Oh, apparently. So apparently they're just just trying to hunt and just paint over the little bluebird logo with black paint. It does not surprise me at all, especially from these Musk sycophants. It says here that on Monday, Twitter underwent an official rebranding, adopting the name X, as the company promptly began the process of taking down its old signage from the San Francisco headquarters, while eager employees took it a call to action to call to go bird hunting, using power drills or other means to purge the premises of Twitter's iconic bluebird logo. The pivot to X has been in the works for the company's billionaire owner Elon Musk, who changed Twitter's corporate name to X Corp in April. Central to Musk's strategy and ambition to establish a, quote, very powerful finance experience that goes beyond even PayPal, a company he co-founded, originally known as X.com, instead of TWTTR, microblogging service that company co-founder Jack Dorsey famously launched 17 years ago. A forthcoming, quote, everything app model on China's WeChat appears destined to swallow the bird. Apparently, why get rid of anything? I will comment on this later on when towards the end of the episode. I've said it before. Elon is so fucking obsessed with the X letter. What is it that he gets like a fucking hard on for that? What is it? Why does he like everything has to be X this, X that? I don't know. Only this fucker knows. It also says here that while many longtime users of Twitter have decried the branding change, some company employees are loudly embracing the new beginning. It says here Dan from at Kettle B Bell Life, at Brock Pearson and I met at outside of X headquarters so we could just combine arms to form an X. It took an advanced geometry to get this picture exactly right. I mean, I guess this guy is like, you know what? There's nothing I could do. I just might as well just go with the flow. I see a blue door and I want to paint it black. A product engineer at X posted referencing the Twitter's signature blue color that decorated the office to the tune of a Rolling Stones song. I mean, I mean, me personally, I like the color black. I always wear black clothing. The people that know me know that I love wearing black clothing. But in terms of using it as a color and painting everything black, that's a no-no for me. That's just me. It also says here that another ex-staffer shared a series of videos capturing the significant moments at the headquarters conference rooms. One video shows employees dismantling the Twitter bird. I mean, I don't know how would I feel if I were to be working at that company for X amount of years and I would see just other people just destroying and dismantling a very well-known logo that a lot of people loved and cared. And if I would have been there, I would have been like, oh, man, that kind of sucks. But I mean, there's nothing we could do because the owner has basically when this guy bought Twitter and is doing all this stuff, is because Elon Musk has an agenda. That's all it is. He has an agenda. I mean, what's going to happen? You know, I mean, it has I don't know. I'm sorry if sometimes I just keep like quiet because it's just hard to call it X. Like when I log into my phone, I say I'm gonna go on the Twitter app. I don't call it X. And this is another thing. This is what Elon Musk said, and I quote, X will become the most valuable brand on earth. Make my words, unquote. Ready or not, here we come. Those are pretty bold words coming from Elon Musk. To say that's going to be the best, I have my own opinions of how he's going to make that happen, because Threads right now is pretty popular. I have a Threads account. Here's another thing. For some, wiping out the brand recognition Twitter spent years building is a supremely befuddling move. Some former Twitter employees weren't happy to discover on Monday that their LinkedIn profile had been updated with their job history now claiming they had worked at X. Interestingly, overnight, the LinkedIn profile reverted to the original name, but some former staff had already attached their experience to a Twitter 1.0 page. As I said before, if I have that on my resume and I go to work, say to Google, and they say that I used to work for X, they're gonna say this guy worked at a porno studio or something like that. When in reality, it was Twitter. But some people are not gonna understand that. Here's another thing. Some former employees paid tribute to the old Twitter by selling, quote, one team shirts featuring the Twitter bird. The funds generated from these sales were directed to the National Audubon Society, an organization dedicated to protecting birds through scientific research, advocacy, education, and underground conservation efforts. It's a stark contrast to the attitude within the company, where the headcount has shrunk by more than 75% under Musk as a result of mass layoffs and departures. For those that have remained with X, actively hiring to rebuild its staff, the demise of the bird and the Twitter brand appears to represent a clean break from the past. As you know how they say, it's just going to start, it's just a whole fresh start. They're just starting all over again. In that aspect, I kind of do understand that, because I kind of compare myself to this. When I had my old podcast, it had a great run for a few years, but then I decided, you know what, maybe it wasn't like the same anymore, and I was going to shut down. But then someone said, start all over again. And lo and behold, here I am. Another thing, it hasn't been Twitter since November. A former executive who spoke on the conditions of anonymity told Fortune, this will help everyone move on and stop comparing the entire platform approach to Twitter. Quote, Twitter died so X could live, a current employee posted. Okay, so in conclusion about this this article, they just, I guess Elon Musk just wants to just to create his own thing, quote. Just like he bought a company and then he's going to rebrand his own thing, just erase anything that had to do with the old thing and just make it his own. I personally believe that for Elon Musk just to erase everything that had to do with the color blue and the Twitter logo, the Bluebird logo, I mean, who knows what Elon Musk is thinking, And I've seen on Twitter, on X, there's that giant X at San Francisco. It's like this bright X, it's bright. All the people, I can imagine the people who are living across the street with that eyesore blinking over and over and over. I can't even imagine what they're saying. Like, this motherfucker put this giant X. It's like a giant eyesore. I mean, who knows what Elon Musk is thinking right now. So, and let's see. What's another thing here? This is another from BusinessInsider.com. The former Twitter executive who went viral for sleeping on the office floor says she had no choice but to do because of Elon Musk's nearly impossible deadline. It says here that Esther Crawford says she slept at the office because Elon Musk set a, quote, nearly impossible deadline, unquote. I was attacked by people on the left and called a billionaire bootlicker. That's what they called her. She said that Esther Crawford, the former director of a product manager at the social media giant, which rebranded as X this week, retweeted a photo of her wrapped in a sleeping bag on the floor of Twitter's conference rooms in November. Quote, "When your team is pushing round the clock to make deadlines, sometimes you sleep where you work," Crawford wrote in the caption. Just imagine you have to sleep in the office just to make a deadline because of what your boss said? Huh. And judging by Elon Musk's attitude, he kind of acts like a fucking tyrant to me. The photo of her lying on the floor and wearing an eye mask went viral. During the first few months of Musk's leadership, Crawford was widely regarded as one of the tech mogul's most loyal employees. But since being laid off in February, she has turned somewhat against the billionaire by criticizing his morals and leadership. I mean, yeah, by the way he's demanding to make this deadline, he acts like a fucking tyrant. In a video accompanying tweet posted on Wednesday, Crawford spoke about her experience working at Twitter and the viral photo. And I quote, "The real story is pretty simple," she said in this video. "I was given a nearly impossible deadline for his first project, and as the product lead, I would never ask anyone to do anything I wasn't willing to do myself." Unquote. Another one, "I worked round the clock alongside an amazing team spanning many time zones, and we delivered it on schedule, truly against the odds. It was intense, but also fun." Unquote. Twitter did not immediately respond to a request for comments. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Elon Musk wouldn't be convenient for this guy to answer this for a comment because after what she said. Crawford continued, "I was attacked by people on the left and called a billionaire bootlicker while simultaneously being attacked by the people on the right for being a working mom who was demonized as an example of a woman choosing her career over her family." Okay, the left kind of fucked up and calling her a bootlicker. I understand that, but by the right, why are they gonna give her the money? I mean, I understand that family is important. I understand that. But for the right to attack her for choosing her career over her family, okay, all right, you motherfuckers. Are you gonna give her family? Are you gonna support her? Are you gonna put food on her table? For you fuckers to say it, especially on the right? Are you gonna do that? Huh? No, then shut the fuck up then. Huh. Crawford continued, quote, "Thankfully, I can laugh at myself and I don't take the armchair keyboard ideologues too seriously. Being the main character on the timeline, even for a few minutes, requires a thick skin and a strong sense of self." Unquote. Well, only she knows she has to have a thick skin. You know, we all have to have like an elephant skin. Take the criticism and all that stuff, you know? It says here that as well as making changes to Twitter's app and website, such as reinstating banned accounts. Okay. That is something that I don't believe in, but it's funny how they brought back banned accounts, like, for example, Donald Trump for this guy starting the January 6th riots. The MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell. Some other guy who I fucking despise, no names mentioned. All I can say is it rhymes with weather. And this guy, he's so acts so arrogant. And he calls to people, fans who are unintelligent wrestling fans. They reinstated his account, but I asked for my account back, and yet I got rejected. That's a lie right there. Reinstating banned accounts. I got banned by supporters of the other guy because when I said my opinion and they were attacking me and I clapped back, and they never gave me my account back. I asked for it many times and they said, "No, you can't get your account back." And I didn't do anything wrong. I did something very, very minor there. And yet they gave back the account of Donald Trump, the guy who started the January 6th riots. And I didn't even do nothing like that. And yet they couldn't give me my account. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's something I never believed in. It also says here that he fired top execs, laid off thousands of other workers, cut back on some perks, and introduced quote, hardcore work culture that pushed staff to work long hours and meet tough deadlines. The same thing with her. And this week, Musk changed his Twitter name to X and ditched his iconic Bluebird logo. Musk is no stranger to sleeping in the office, and some other Twitter workers did the same as they scrambled to keep their jobs. Musk even converted some of Twitter's rooms, Twitter San Francisco headquarters, into bedrooms for staff. Huh. For this guy to do that, I kind of compare it to Vince McMahon. Why do I say that? Because Vince McMahon hardly ever sleeps. If he does, he only sleeps for like 4 hours or so. But that guy never sleeps. So that's how I compared both Elon Musk and Vince McMahon. They're both alike. It says here that Crawford said in a Wednesday post that working at Twitter after the acquisition was, quote, was like playing life at level 10 on hard mode. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Those few months were wildly crazy, but I wanted to be there. I have no regrets, she said. She was one of Twitter's most loyal employees. But what happened afterwards? She left. And she says that showing up and giving it all you should, in most cases, be celebrated. Obviously, you can't work at that pace forever, but there are moments where bursts are mission critical, she added. Who knows? Maybe she gave it all, and apparently Elon Musk doesn't see it that way. Here's another thing from Business Insider. Elon Musk is totally out of his element at Twitter because he doesn't understand social media, a Harvard leadership expert says. That is something I totally agree with. Okay, Elon Musk founded Tesla, one of the most successful electric cars in the world. He founded SpaceX Corporation. He's a business magnate. So answer me this, people. What does Elon Musk know about running a social media website? Not a damn thing. Pardon me, I pressed the wrong button. He doesn't know a damn thing about that. Because he just turned into something he doesn't know. I don't know. It's just it's something that I don't understand. What the hell does he know? It's like saying, and this may sound kind of a bad thing. I've noticed a lot. It's like with in Chinese restaurants, other ethnicities are cooking the food. You know, I'm not going to say, I don't mean to sound racist or anything, but it's just like that. It says that a Harvard leadership expert weighed in on Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter and the changes he's made, saying that the billionaire is, quote, totally out of his element because social media is not his area of expertise. And he is absolutely right. Elon Musk doesn't know a damn thing about running a social media website. If you ask Tom from MySpace or Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook or Meta, they know social media because that's their expertise. Elon Musk doesn't know nothing. He knows he's a businessman. He doesn't know anything about running a social media website. And he says that it's going to be the best social media website. I beg to differ on that. Bill George, an executive fellow at Harvard Business School and former CEO of Medtronic, told CNBC in an interview that, quote, if you had to write a case study on an example of reality poor takeover in an organization, Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter would fit that perfectly well. And that's something I totally agree with. I don't think he understands social media. Yes, it is absolutely true. Elon Musk doesn't know nothing about that. And from what I read right now, they are reinstating Kanye West's Twitter page. And he went on an anti-Semitic rant, and that they banned him, but they're allowing him to come back. As I said before, they allowed Donald Trump to come back. They allowed Kanye West to come back. Those two guys have done something very, very worse, and I did something minor, and yet they don't want to give me my old personal Twitter page back, which I think is totally unfair. You know, I have tried many times to get my old Twitter page back, and to no avail. Which is no, I don't think it's not fair that these two people who did worse things can get their account back, and I did something minor, and yet I had nothing to no avail. That ain't right, you know. As I see that Musk bought Twitter in a $44 billion deal in October 2022 and has drastically changed the company in terms of personnel and the platform's public face interface. One of his first moves as Twitter new boss was firing key executives, including CEO Parag Agrawal, CFO Ned Sahgal, Chief Legal Officer Vijaya Gad, and General Counsel Sean Eggett. He also laid off roughly half of the company's 8,000 employees at the time, while introducing new features to the platform and charging users $7.99 for a blue check verification, and most recently changing the company's iconic bluebird logo to an X. George explained that although Musk, quote, did a brilliant job in creating Tesla, and he has done a lot of good things at SpaceX, too, his transformation of Twitter is a, quote, big mistake. It's so true. In regards to the blue check, that is something that I was very, very against. Because I remember when Twitter started, like, well-known companies, like corporations, had a blue check, or famous celebrities had a blue check, politicians had a blue check, and they were verified. But then later on, they created a blue check to say that they were subscribed to Twitter Blue. And that is something I never agree with. Why pay something? And you know, a lot of people were asking for an edit button. And they did create an edit button. But I'm sorry, it was only available for Twitter Blue, which means you had to pay. And that's another thing that kind of bothered me about in terms of Twitter Blue, that you could send unlimited DM direct messages towards people. But with regular Twitter or X, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep calling it X, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. There was a limit, and you had to wait till the next day to send new direct messages to people, which I think is total bullshit if you ask me. It says here that George suggested that Musk should let Twitter's new CEO, Linda Yaccarino, call the shots. William Klepper, a management professor teaching an executive leadership course at Columbia Business School, previously told Insider that Musk's Twitter takeover is, quote, a case study of a failed leadership. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I believe Elon Musk sued Meta and Mark Zuckerberg because of Threads. Because I have a Threads account. It's very similar to Twitter. It's super similar to Twitter. And because of that, I don't know who the fuck started this. They actually wanted to do a fight between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and doing an actual MMA fight. When I read about that, I thought it was laughable, you could say, people. I mean, look, I'm not saying that Mark Zuckerberg's a wimp. I mean, if you compare Mark Zuckerberg to Elon Musk, I mean, Elon Musk is a big dude, so to say. I'm not saying he's fat. I'm just saying he's much bigger than Mark Zuckerberg. And I don't know who will win the fight there, but I don't know if it's true or not that Zuckerberg is very, very good at karate, or maybe I heard it wrong. You know, it says here that Klepper echoed George's comments that Musk needs to step back and let other people lead the platform. And I quote, "You should not be the CEO of your company," he said. "You should hire managers within the functional elements of that organization, but you could sit up on top of this conglomerate with a lot of folks that you know how your brain works, and apparently constructively as opposed to destructively in each of those companies." Will Twitter, I mean, I'm sorry. Why do I keep saying Twitter? Will X fail? Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I still have my account. I use it, but I don't want it to fail. But if people want that, this dude is right. I think a group of maybe a board of directors should run Twitter, and not just Elon Musk making all these stupid ass decisions. You know, and here's another one from Business Insider. It says, "You may hate what Twitter, sorry, X has become, but it's just what the company needs right now," brand experts say. And they show a picture of Elon Musk on the left, and on the right, that giant X, which is, a lot of people say it's an eyesore in San Francisco right now. It says, "It's been a whirlwind week for Twitter, or X, whatever you decide to call it now. The social media platform signature Skybound Bluebird and iconic lingo Twitter retweet of 17 years are no more after owner Elon Musk decided to take his recently acquired platform in a new direction last Sunday. The decision to do was so contentious, some like Jen Takashi, the founder of San Francisco-based Takashi PR and the lively personality behind Best of Dying Twitter, described it as a brand suicide. Other branding experts who spoke to Insider said it could be an opportunity for Musk to clean his slate and present a new, less controversial vision for the platform." And this is something that I've noticed ever since Elon Musk took over. All these other pages that were banned in Twitter originally have recently come back, like the QAnon page, I don't know if it's ISIS or something like that. They brought it back. And you know what I've noticed is that ever since this guy took it over, there has been more hate. And people say it's the same thing. No, ever since Musk took over X, there has been a lot of rise. There's been a rise of more anti-Semitic, more anti-gay, anti-black, anti-Latino, Hispanic tweets. And I for one, I have been a victim of that. There has been more racist slurs, especially like the QAnon, as I said before in my other episode. There has been more spread of misinformation about the vaccines. More, oh my God, especially conspiracy theorists. Oh my God, those motherfuckers right now. It's like anything goes right now in X. Ever since Musk took over. I mean, this guy just gave them like the okay. Like it's like I would say is when Trump was president, like all these racists came out of the woodwork, and then when this guy went away, they were still racist, but they went back and they crawled back into their hole where they belong. But ever since Elon Musk took over, like there has been more like being more open, more like proud of being the racist fucks that they are, and I don't appreciate that, you know. But like I said, yeah, I, for one, I'm just another spoke on the wheel. I'm just another, I would say a very small minority just expressing their disdain of what X has become now. It says here that Musk declared the change to X last Sunday and said it eventually would become an, quote, everything app, allowing users to, quote, conduct their entire financial world on it. I don't know about that. That is something like, okay. There's another guy who wrote on X, says, company that changed their names: Amazon, quote, Cadabra; Best Buy, Sound of Music; eBay, Auction Web; Facebook, Meta; Google, Backrub; Instagram, Bourbon; Netflix, Kibble; Nike, Blue Ribbon Sports; Pepsi, Brad's Drink; Playboy, Stag Party; 7-Eleven, Totem S'mores; Snapchat, Peekaboo; Starbucks, nothing. And it says, and Elon Musk actually responded. It says here, Twitter was acquired by X Corp, both ensure freedom of speech and as an accelerant for apps, the Everything app. This is simply not a company renaming itself, but simply doing the same thing. The Twitter name made sense when it was just a 140-character messages going back and forth. Okay. Let's go back to what this dude says. Twitter was acquired by X Corp both to ensure freedom of speech. Okay. And these other like racist fucks, they take every word very, very clearly. They say freedom of speech, and yet they go on like all these racist rants and all that stuff, calling people racist shit and everything. Yeah, and this fucker does nothing. And it says here, in response, many users swiftly objected to the news that the mainstream platform will now be called X, accompanied by a darker image and logo. I didn't know about your rebrand idea and was looking for Twitter Verified and scrolled down past your X logo thinking it was a porn site, one user said, among a barrage of other comments comparing the new name to an adult entertainment site. I'm not calling it X, said another. In a post on a social site, a former Musk loyalist who had once slept on the floor of then Twitter's office before she got fired by the company hinted that the idea that Musk would be, quote, destroying his product or brand. I mean, I don't know what is this dude going to do right now. An analyst brand agencies who spoke to Bloomberg said that the company could lose billions of dollars in brand value. I mean, it has lost a lot of ads. I've seen a lot of people say on Twitter that a lot of websites at that time when it was called Twitter didn't want to be associated with it, you know? Tekashi told Insider that there was no way she could have stayed at Twitter. She never called it X, she said, if she worked there. If I were Twitter's PR person and he tried to rebrand it as X, as if he like insisted on it, I would have actually have quit, Tekashi said, of the company, which got rid of its communications department last November, because imagine how bad it would be as a PR person to monitor that stuff. Okay, let me just see what X has been doing in the news today. Retweets have been renamed to reposts. Shut up. So it says Best of Dying Twitter wrote, shut up. Excuse me. It says here that for Tekashi, for much of the value of Twitter's brand is embedded in pop culture history. And you know, it is. Because when you automatically think of the little bluebird, it's Twitter. She also pointed out that not many other social media companies have taken a verb such as tweet and made it their own. That was the power of Twitter, because yes, and nowadays in the dictionary, when they say tweet, it's because of Twitter. Here's another thing. Quote, if you're watching a movie or you're listening to a presidential speech, there might be the word tweet and retweet, Tekashi said. Can you just imagine the shift? It's just so confusing for everybody. Perhaps a reason why X garners so much media attention is because as founder of branding company Namestormers, Mike Carr told Insider in complete contrast to what people have come and known of the brand. Carr said that the name X evokes a technology-forward position. He described the New York Times as, quote, Big Brother vibes. And in some cultures, it could represent death. Twitter, on the other hand, is a much softer and appeals to more millennial Generation X audience that Twitter has become to represent. And yes, I do remember when Twitter started back in 2006, when even though MySpace was ultra popular, I do remember hearing about Twitter, but I didn't have it at that time. I got an account later on, and yes, I love Twitter. What was once Twitter. But sadly, it has become a thing of the past. And it's sad because this guy is so adamant to just kill a very well-known a brand of a social media website. And this is one other thing he said, quote, birds are cute, they're fun, they chirp, they make noise, they talk to one another, they fly around, Carr said. It's just a very approachable to me. X is on the opposite end, he added. X is sort of extreme, is techie, it's harsher. But Elon Musk, long obsessed with the brand idea of X, trudged in on the face of disapproval from users. On Friday night, a gigantic flashy X logo was displayed atop of the company's San Francisco building, blinding the surrounding neighborhood. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I can imagine the people who were living across the street in the building. You seen that flashing X? That must be fucking annoying. For this fucker just to put that gigantic flashing X. But hey, it's Elon Musk. He will say, oh, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm rich. That's his attitude. And it says here that if you actually look at the logo that they put up on the side of the building, as it was with a black with a white outline card set, it was sort of ominous. One part of the X was a double line, the other part of the X was a single line. It was a bit off kilter, a bit off center. It says here that I would never bet against Elon Musk. A brand pivot will always ruffle feathers, and has already been ruffled by the name change. That's just me, though. But some expert who spoke to insiders said that how Musk moves forward with the shift could actually help the brand, which Musk himself said is losing money as advertisers are pulling out. And that is why, because of all the shit that this dude is doing. Not a lot of advertisers agree with this guy. Carr told Insider that Musk has probably considered all the associations the name evoked when renaming the company. Carr even saw a positive in all the press attention that Musk is receiving. He said that risky move could inject newfound excitement and interest into the social media company. I would never bet against Elon Musk, Carr said. I think he's proven his critics wrong many, many times. And it's not all criticism that Musk has been receiving. A new survey, albeit one with a tiny sample of 5,000 people compared to the 250 million daily averages users on Twitter, conducted by Civic Science, found out that 30% of daily users and 43% of weekly users felt the positive transition to X, compared to 27% of daily users and 27% of weekly users who felt negatively. Me personally, I'm in the middle. As I said before, it's going to take a long time to get used to calling it Twitter to X. I still don't call it Twitter. X. I still call it Twitter. I still say retweets, not reposts. So to many people, it will take a long time to get used to it, you know. I mean, only time will tell what's going to happen with this. It also says here that, and I quote, I think Elon Musk and X should really use this as an opportunity to solidify and change their positioning, lose some of the negative PR, be very, very disciplined in building up this brand as a positive brand with the name positive associations. Me personally, okay, if that's the case, if people want to see positive, they want to associate positivity with this brand, this is just my opinion. I think that Elon Musk should go after these people who are being ultra negative, especially like the trolls who are always negative. It's not just on Twitter, every social media website, you know? But, I mean, who knows what's going to happen right now with X? It's going to take some time to get used to, you know, to a lot of people. It will take some time to get used to, you know. But let's see what happens, you know. And let's see. Let me see what happened here. Here's another thing. Oh, shit. Nah, forget about it. It was something else. And here's another thing from Yahoo. And I read this over and over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. It just left me speechless, you know? And why? It says here, this is what this guy actually said, and I quote, Musk threatens to sue researchers who documented the rise in hateful tweets. I thought you were all for freedom of speech, Elon. So why are you going to sue people who are documenting the rise in hateful tweets and racist tweets by all these racist right-wing nuts? Isn't that against what you believe in, supposedly? Huh? X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, has threatened to sue a group of independent researchers who researched, document, and increase in hate speech on the site since it was purchased last year by Elon Musk. And it's the absolute truth. Yes, there has been always hate speech in Twitter. But ever since this guy bought it, it has risen a lot. An attorney representing the social media site wrote to the Center for Countering Digital Hate on July 20th, threatening legal action over the nonprofit's research into hate speech and content moderation. The letter alleged that CCDH's research publications seem intended to harm Twitter business by driving advertisers away from the platform with incendiary claims. I mean, it's the absolute truth. So why is this guy getting his panties in a bunch? You know? Musk is a self-professed free speech absolutist who has welcomed back white supremacists and election deniers to the platform, which he renamed X this month. But the billionaire has at times proven sensitive about critical speech directed at him and his companies. I've noticed that. Why is he threatening to sue these people, this group of people, for just speaking the truth? What a snowflake this guy is. It says here that the center is a nonprofit with offices in the U.S. and United Kingdom. It regularly publishes on hate speech, extremism, or harmful behavior on social media platforms like X, TikTok, or Facebook. Well, I don't know about Facebook. Maybe I have noticed that on TikTok they do monitor all these like hate speeches and stuff. But I don't know about Facebook because I don't have Facebook. It also says here that the organization has published several reports critical of Musk's leadership, detailing an increase in anti-LGBTQ hate speech, as well as climate misinformation since its purchase. And that is absolutely true. I've seen that a lot. I've seen like people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Ted Cruz, people like Mike Pence, who are writing all this misinformation about climate change, especially the LGBT community, especially about the coronavirus vaccine. And yet Elon Musk actually coddles that behavior. What's up with that? And yet if someone says something about that, this fucker gets his panties in a bunch. It shouldn't be that way, you know? But it says here that in the letter, attorney Alex Spiro questioned the expertise of the research and accused the center of trying to harm X's reputation. The letter also suggested without evidence that the center received funds for some of X's competitors, even though the center has also published critical reports about TikTok, Facebook, and other large platforms. Quote, CCDH intends to harm Twitter's business by driving advertisers away from the platform when incendiary claims, Spiro wrote, using the platform's former name. It's actually the other way around. Because of how Elon Musk is handling Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, the advertisers are seeing the reality. So they're just like quietly distancing themselves from that platform, that social media platform. Imran Ahmed, the center's founder and CEO, told the AP on Monday that his group has never received a similar response from any tech company, despite a history of studying the relationship between social media, hate speech, and extremism. He said that typically the targets of the center's criticism have responded by defending their work or promising to address any problems that have been identified. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? Ahmed said that he worried X's response to the center's work could have a chilling effect. It frightens other researchers away from studying the platform. He also said that he worried that the other industries could take note of strategy. This is an unprecedented escalation by a social media company against independent researchers. Musk has just declared open war, Ahmed told the Associated Press. If Musk succeeds in silencing us, other researchers will be next in line. Basically, Elon Musk right now is acting like a fascist pig because he's against people investigating his social media website in terms of hate speech and whatnot, which is the absolute, that's the case. But Elon Musk is adamant about this. Messages left with Spiro and X were not immediately returned Monday. It is not the first time that Elon Musk has fired back at critics. Last year, he suspended the accounts of several journalists who covered his takeover of Twitter. Another user was suspended for using publicly available flight data to track Musk's private plane. Musk had initially pledged to keep the user on the platform, but later changed his mind, citing his personal safety. He also threatened to sue the user before allowing him back on the platform under certain restrictions. Oh, yeah? Of course he's going to get those panties on a bunch. He initially had promised that he would allow any speech on his platform that wasn't illegal. Quote, I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that's what free speech means, right? That's what he wrote last year in a tweet. X's recent threat of lawsuit prompted concern from U.S. Representative Adam Schiff from California, who said the billionaire was trying to use the threat of legal action to punish a nonprofit group trying to hold a powerful social media platform accountable. Instead of attacking them, he should be attacking the increasingly disturbing content on Twitter, Schiff said. And in all honesty, why does Elon Musk doesn't go after those people? But he's only going after the people who are quote-unquote doing the right thing. But yet he's calling all these people, these QAnon right-wing racist nuts. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the brain of this guy. And it says here that if Elon Musk understood anything about China, he knew his attempt to make X a super app like WeChat is doomed to fail. This is a new one. I didn't read about this one. Elon Musk thinks turning X into everything app like WeChat could make the company profitable, but he may be missing a major point. The U.S. isn't China, and WeChat's success may not be replicable. Musk may need to go back to the drawing board if he wants to turn the company around. Elon Musk may be going all in with his plan to turn X into an everything app in the vein of China's WeChat. But the vast differences between the U.S. and Chinese markets mean his grand plans could be dead on arrival. I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to accomplish that. But I don't know what's this dude's purpose is. It says here that the billionaire has made some dramatic steps towards fully rebranding Twitter last week. On July 24th, Musk replaced Twitter's bird logo with the character X. He also declared in a tweet the same day he plans to turn X into, quote, everything app that has comprehensive communications and ability to conduct your financial world. Oh, no. That is something I am dead against. If I could use that on everything, like my credit card numbers, my social security and everything, fuck that. So people other hackers just hack into my shit and steal my information and sell it onto the dark web? Is that the purpose of Elon Musk? Fuck no. This guy is a nut, you know? And as I said before, Elon Musk has an agenda. What is it? I don't know, nor do I fucking care. The only thing I can say this in closing, I will say that it's a shame what happened after 17 years on Twitter. Twitter was awesome. I had a great time there. Yes, I had my ups and downs on that website, but for this guy just to take it over, just to rebrand it, to turn it something. And you know what? This is just the typical attitude of making something and turning it into something he did not create. Elon Musk is getting rid of something like what Jack Dorsey did. Jack Dorsey, another group of people who created something that was ultra successful. And for this guy just to come in and destroy everything, like getting rid of the name Twitter, getting rid of the bird logo, getting rid of the color blue associated with that company, is because he's trying to get rid of something he did not create and just wants nothing to do with it. So, what's going to happen what's the future X, ladies and gentlemen? All I can say is 3 words. I don't know. I mean, I'll still use it for the time being. I have still yet to receive a code for Blue Sky. I mean, I have Threads. I have Hive. I mean, I've never got rid of Hive. People talk smack about it, but I still have it. It's actually okay. I have Threads. Not a lot of people have flocked to it yet. Some people have, not all. Blue Sky is the one that I'm eagerly awaiting, ladies and gentlemen. But some people have already got their Blue Sky page. But it says here on their page that they're still in beta mode. And I send them email and nothing yet so far. But all I can say is, what does the future hold for X, formerly known as Twitter? I don't know. Do I want it to fail? No. I want it to continue to be successful. But if it fails, hey man, it's all on Elon Musk. It's all on him. He was the one who acted this way. He wanted to make it into his own personal plaything. That's all on him now. It's no longer Jack Dorsey or the other people, former founders of Twitter. It's no longer on them, you know? It's all on him now. So, and before I sign off, I just want to say one of the saddest, before I can sign off tonight, I also want to say that today, on July 3rd, I don't know what today, we heard the news that Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, passed away. And I'm not going to lie, people. It hit me. It hit me pretty hard. Sorry, I'm still trying to digest that. He died at the age of 70 after a brief battle with cancer. And I grew up watching Pee Wee Herman on Pee Wee's Playhouse on CBS. I watched his Pee Wee's Big Adventure movie. And I will talk about him later on, but it's just sad what happened to his career later on because of something he did, but he was ousted by Hollywood. He was shunned. But then later on, he had a revival. He was pretty successful on his own, but he never really quite achieved the fame after what happened with him with that little incident back in the, I don't know, was it 90s or late 80s or 90s? I will talk about that later on for a future episode. But all I can say is rest easy, Pee Wee Herman. Thank you so much for the memories, and you will be missed, sir. That's all I can say. Well, that about wraps up for this week's episode for my podcast. Tune in this coming Saturday. I will record. I will upload it. And I want to say to the people who do listen to my podcast, I want to say thank you. Even though I don't have a big audience, which is fine. The people who do listen to me, thank you all. Thank you for your support. And it means the world to me, people. So have a good night. This is Antonio signing off. Good night.